Hello, my name is Michael Mott, and this is my presentation on Anna Partales, Peter 2, and what I learned about entrepreneurship by my interview with Anna Partales. So let's get started. Before going into what I learned about entrepreneurship from Anna, I'd like to first go into a little bit on her background, as well as the background of Peter's 2. This is a picture of Anna Partales in a restaurant with her trademark camo hat. And Anna Partales was born in Greece, and she came to the United States at the age of 17. And during her entrepreneurial career before owning Peters 2, also owned a club and worked at Peters 2 for a few years before eventually buying Peters 2 from its owners, who at the time were getting old and they didn't feel like running a diner anymore. This is a picture of the Peters 2 sign. And Peters 2 specializes in its Greek food as well as its American cuisine, and is open for breakfast and lunch. It is on Whitby Avenue in Cheshire and is a town staple. It's known very well for its friendly atmosphere and involvement in the community of Cheshire. So the first lesson I learned from Anna Partales is that entrepreneurship is what you make it. And by that, I mean when I first started thinking about entrepreneurship, I was scared because I figured that entrepreneurship, typically being a business owner, it kind of controls your life. You have to live to work. And it's proof to the contrary. Her life, she's able to have still a full life with her kids, and she doesn't let work stop her from pursuing her own hobbies and everything. And I realized that I could do this too with my idea of a cafe, and by extension, really any kind of entrepreneurial endeavor I could take, I can take steps so that I still will have time to pursue my hobbies. I still will have time to enjoy any kind of future family I have. So this was a relief to me and a very important lesson that I learned from our interview. The second lesson I learned from my interview with Anna Partales is that dedication is very key to entrepreneurship. And I learned this because I know a lot about Anna. She's my father's girlfriend, so I've been around her a lot, and I can tell you that the most important thing to her is her family. I mean, it really does trump everything else. And even that being said, she has to miss important occasions. She has to miss confirmations. She has to miss baptisms. Even some weddings she has to miss. Because sometimes no one can cover her restaurant. And this gave me the realization that you really do need to be dedicated to whatever business you start up. You need to be willing to sacrifice for it. And if Anna has to sacrifice some kind of family things, and she does it, then for me or you or anybody listening to this, you also need to think to yourself, you will need to make sacrifices, and you need to accept that. But I also learned really how to help yourself garner more dedication for your vocation. And I view that as finding really the things that you love about what you do. And for Anna, that is speaking with the customers. She loves talking to the customers. She loves developing relationships with the customers, and she loves speaking to them. So she might not be a huge fan of washing dishes or even cooking sometimes, but when she gets to develop these friendships with these customers, it makes her feel very good, and she loves that, and that's what helps her really put up with the cons of owning her own restaurant. So we all need to apply that to ourselves and the things that we do, even not entrepreneurship, even other things, even any kind of task you really don't want to do. You have to try to find the little details in it that you do actually enjoy and try to focus on those. So the third lesson I learned from my interview with Anna is to understand the type of business that you're going into. And I feel like this is very important, especially for us entrepreneurship students, to understand. We really do kind of need a little bit of wet work sometimes before we take on a business venture. For Anna, her experience before Peters 2 was owning a club, and on top of that, working in Peters 2 for a little bit. She said that to enter the food business, you really do need to work at a restaurant for a bit, or else you're not going to understand how one works, you're not going to understand the kind of things you need in it, and you will fail. So, keeping that into my idea with the cafe, if I end up trying to pursue that, I'm either going to personally work in a cafe for a little bit, or I'm going to partner up with somebody who has. Thank you for watching my presentation, and I wish you all a good night or morning depending on when you're watching this.